Diagwit, Happy New Year 2026. This is our first 20 minutes with of the new year, and we're joined by the Reuters, an American family that has made Japan its home for more than 10 years through their channel, Life in Japan. And Nathan, Ruth, and their four children, they share their adventures, challenges, and everyday experiences that connect cultures and celebrate family life abroad. So, Nathan, Ruth, thank you for having me here in your very cool cafe today.
Oh,
Well,
thank
thanks
you.
so much for coming here.
So, your channel, Life in Japan, it's obviously really popular now, but how did it start? Like, what made you want to start sharing your life in Japan with viewers across the world? And did you ever imagine that you would reach like hundreds and thousands of people?
Yeah, well, first of all, we never even imagined we would be doing something like YouTube, or probably even imagine we would live somewhere like Japan.
Okay.
But just the opportunity came up to come here, uh, and and we thought, boy, this is a good opportunity. Let's go. And then along the way, while we're living here, there was just so many things that are so different from Western culture.
Mm.
I was just like, whether it's like just trying to take out any documents or like learning how to do anything
Yeah.
here, it's just like it's a whole different world. And then our kids started in Japanese schools, and that's a whole different thing too. And along the way, we're like, this would be interesting for people to know, like just the ins and outs of this kind of stuff. And so we started to make some things for like family and loved ones, and
Yeah.
just like sending it to them,
Mm.
and uh, and they really enjoyed it. And then at some point, a person was like, "Hey, you guys should do this as a YouTube channel. Like, do you see the other things that are out there? Like, you guys could totally do that sort of thing."
Yeah.
I was like, "You're crazy, man. That's so much work. I don't want to do that." But eventually, here we are. I mean, we
Yeah.
start the YouTube channel, and it took about a year before we had people other than friends and family, I think,
Okay.
that watched it. And I think our biggest surprise was that it really caught on inside Japan. And because we're all speaking in English,
Right.
but so at that point we're like, we need to put Japanese subtitles on this so more and more people can understand what's going on, and it just really ballooned from there. COVID hit,
Yeah.
and when COVID hit, then everyone's inside, and then our channel stats just blew up because people were watching and looking for something
Yeah.
like positive, during
Yeah.
that time. Anything positive was just like, oh, a breath of fresh air. And so, yeah.
But actually, when it started, it was kind of shocking once we started getting some momentum because I thought, who's going to just want to watch about our life? Because it's just our everyday life. We're taking
Yeah.
our kids to the park and we're pitter pattering around our house, and people are just watching it, and it's weird, strange, but people liked it, so it's gone from there. Yeah.
Yeah, so you touched on this a second ago, and I wanted to ask you about this. A lot of people are fascinated by how your kids, your American children, have adapted to Japanese public schools. So, what have been some of the positive aspects of the Japanese public education for your children? And what have been some of the more challenging aspects of that as parents within that system?
One great thing I'll answer about the kids. Great thing about public Japanese schools is that they're in your neighborhood. They're all neighborhood schools.
Right.
So our kids could go to them, make friends, play with those friends outside of school, and they learn Japanese instantly. I studied and I still can't speak, but they just picked it up, and all their friends also lived in our neighborhood. So that was great. And we put our kids in from kindergarten on. I remember we arrived in April, so the school year had already started. But we found a kindergarten that still had some vacancies, and they went and tried on all these little uniforms, like, oh, my kids are so cute, Japanese uniforms. And teachers are talking to me, and I have not a freaking clue what
That
they're
is, oh,
saying to me. One day I'm in Shinjuku at language school, and I get a call from the school, and I'm like, mushi mushi. And they're like, somehow they communicated to
Yeah.
me that I was not at the bus stop to pick up my kids, so they took the kids back to school.
Oh.
And I was like, it was a half day. I missed that. And so I was panicking. I
Yeah.
started crying and like, oh, bad mom, I can't do that. So there are its challenges because I couldn't speak. But now I can anything school, I'm a pro at. I mean, I know what the teacher's
Yeah.
telling me. But the kids just absorbed everything Japanese and we spoke English in our house because the moment they walk out our door,
Yeah.
it's all Japanese.
Right.
So it was a great experience. If we were to do it again, we'd do the same thing, put them in the public schools. So, did that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
There are some neat things too, like just we're working on a video for the Japanese undokai, which is
Right.
their sports day. And there's just things like that that are they're so unique to the Japanese school system, the way that they do it,
Yeah.
and like the pageantry behind it. I mean, it's like a mini Olympics.
Yeah.
You know? So there's just things like that that are really kind of cool that gets to be part of their upbringing.
Yeah.
So another thing you touched on was the positivity of your videos and how, like through COVID, you know, that attracted a lot of people, or a lot of people were drawn to that. But your videos often sort of depict a very joyful and close-knit family. But how do you maintain that tight family bond through, you know, the busyness of like work, school, vlogging? Like, do you have some special like family secrets or rules, you know, that you follow that kind of keep your household
That
happy?
that's an amazing question, I think. It really is. I think one thing that we've always told our kids is like, if there's something that you don't want on life in Japan, just tell us and we won't put it on there. So they know, like, you know, if for whatever reason, and sometimes there has been some amazing things happen that would be awesome on the channel, but they didn't want it on there.
Okay.
And so we're like, it's okay. It's not going to go up. Like, so in other words, the channel doesn't take precedent over the family. You know, whatever we do with, you know, the coffee shop or the ministry or like, or YouTube, whatever it is, you know, it doesn't take precedent over family. And that really helps keep a family genuinely tight. Like not just like, oh, we got to put on our faces now because we're gonna be on camera. It is our life. That's what our life is. And so
But we do
well,
have
we do some practical
some
things.
specific things, like we always try to eat one meal together a day.
My family did that too.
Yeah.
And everybody else in Ireland thought like we were weird.
But
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
so we used to do
amazing.
dinners together, but then once our girls were in middle school and they had all their clubs after school, their return times were crazy.
Yeah.
So now we do breakfast.
Okay.
So 7 o'clock, everyone's at the dining room table. We have breakfast together. It's 20 minutes is all, but it's together time. And now it's progressed, and we've had different phases as our kids have grown. But now, like, they enjoy watching mystery series or something on TV. So we'll do that together a couple times a week together as a family. But even a lot of our YouTubing is done as a family. So that makes us be together as a family. And we try to see, what do you guys want to do? What's something fun that you'd like to put on the channel? Most of the time, the older two are like, let's do karaoke. And we're like, yeah. But, you know, so eating a meal together has been one of our key secrets.
Yeah.
I'm really happy to hear that. I'm not alone. Like.
And he does dad joke every night with the
Okay.
kids.
Yeah,
So
so I do. My tradition is verse of the day at night with dad and a dad joke.
Okay.
Okay, so like in our Bible app that we use, there's always some verse of the day. So we talk about that. But somehow along the line, a dad joke got thrown in there because I like the corny dad jokes. You say, oh, yajigagu in Japanese, definitely me. And so like that just became part of the tradition. And now my daughter Sarah, actually, she's the one telling the jokes. She's like, oh, Dad, I got a joke for us tonight. And she'll tell it. It's way better than my jokes. So I was like, wow, that's cool.
but they're traditions that we've started with our kids that I'm sure they're going to carry on in the future.
Yeah.
But it keeps us all very connected at home and helps get through the day.
So you guys wear a lot of different hats, like some of your YouTubers, Christian missionaries, coffee shop operators. So how do you balance all those different roles? And then also, how do you manage your time and energy? Do you find that your online content also kind of complements your missionary work in any way?
That's a great question. You got lots of good questions.
Sorry.
No, because I think one of the big things is if you look at everything at once, it's like, oh my goodness, what do you like? How in the world? But they didn't all happen at once.
Right.
And so, like, eight about the time Life in Japan started, we weren't really putting out that many videos. But it was the same time we were getting this whole coffee shop started.
Okay.
And that was like all hands on deck for that. Like, and it's not just us, there's a whole team that's here. And so we were all helping, like, just to, Ruth was getting baked goods, like the menu going, you
Right.
know, and then others were working with coffee and training people and then getting the word out, you know, and all that sort of thing. So we got the thing going, right? And then once you get it going, then you start like you know, bringing more people in to help with it. You start building things out; they develop a little bit more, and then so you don't have to focus on that as much, and then you can shift your focus to something else that needs your attention at that time.
Right.
Build that up, and then so it's kind of been just a journey of building different things up, and now that they're healthy, you know, you just keep seeing them go more and more.
And a routine. We have a very our calendar. I
Yeah.
make his calendar and we have it very organized because if we don't have a routine, it's just priorities. Urgent things get put over priorities. And
Right.
so, like Monday and Tuesday are editing videos. Tuesdays, we also have lots of meetings. But when we're doing coffee shop things, I would bring my kids here. They could do homework, they could play.
Yeah.
Their kindergarten was right across the street. So I'd put some cinnamon rolls in the oven, run them to school, come back. We try to get our kids involved in a lot of things because that helps then just spend time as a family. But yeah, we just change hats for whatever scenario we're in and move on.
So just on your missionary work, Japan is a country where Christians make up something like a little less or a little more than 1%,
Yeah.
I think. What has been the most rewarding part of your missionary work here in Japan? Like, I know you've mentioned before that your team is here in Japan so that as many people as possible can experience the joy of discovering God.
Mm.
Um, but on the flip side of that, what has been the most difficult or challenging part of that for you? Trying to spread your faith in a society that traditionally doesn't understand all that much about Jesus.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I think in the beginning, especially what was hard was separating what is Christian from what is Western.
Right.
Okay. Because there's a whole Western culture. But then there's what the Bible talks about in Christianity. And it actually really helped us coming here, separating those things. And you realize, oh man, all these other things, they were just cultural things,
Right.
you know. But here at the core, what is the Bible actually saying? Okay, now how do we actually communicate that in a way that people can understand, that they want to engage in? I think coffee shop was even part of that. It was like how do we actually connect with people here, you know, in a way that makes sense to them?
Right.
You know, in a coffee shop. I mean, I love coffee shops. I think most people, even non-coffee drinkers, tend to love coffee shops.
Yeah.
They'll go in and get a tea or something, you know. But it's just such a warm atmosphere, and that's what we wanted to communicate. And
And how do you break the scariness of church to someone who's never heard of
Yeah.
a church or been in a church? Well, this is where our church meets, in a
Right.
coffee shop. So that helps break some of the ideas that people have that are weird, maybe. And, we're just trying to share the love of Jesus. And we try to do that in our lives and portray that in our videos. And then, we invite people to come visit the church
Yeah.
through our YouTube or via the coffee shop. And it's been rewarding to see, like on Sundays, people come and be like, "Oh, I came because of your YouTube channel." We're like, "Oh, yay, how exciting." So, and our churches, now we have 3 services on Sunday. So we've seen it grow and people experience God in their ways and it's exciting. But language is a huge challenge because Christian talk and everyday talk are very different.
Yeah.
in all, but especially in Japanese, I feel like there's two completely separate ways of speaking. So I just smile at people, helping to see the love. And but yeah, it's been a challenge just communicating that, especially when there's no basis for Christianity in Japan. Like I grew up in Brazil, he grew up in America, you know, it's a Catholic country or Christian country. They know about Mary and Joseph and Jesus
Yeah.
and Moses, but here they don't, you know, so it's very interesting and challenging.
I think what's really rewarding though is you see people come in and then they start experiencing for themselves the close-knit families. They start experiencing that love and healthy relationships with other people and just a healthier lifestyle and everything. And their life changes. And when their life changes, that is huge. Like that's a huge reward to see somebody's life really impacted by the fact that you were there or by by the fact of what you're doing, so that's a big reward.
Yeah. So your YouTube channel is popular, like not just with Japanese or
Mhm.
Americans, but I mean you have viewers like all over the world
Mhm.
at this point. Um, I mean, have you had any interesting interactions or feedback from viewers from abroad that made you sort of realize, wow, like the impact that your YouTube channel has had?
Yeah,
We've
I
run into people in strange places, you know, like
or they run into us, I
yeah,
guess you could say.
we were at Busch Gardens in Florida and someone came
Oh
up to us and
yeah,
was it
no, it's like West Virginia or something.
somewhere and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, we watch you on YouTube." And we're like, "Huh? Wow. Okay." It's a little scary sometimes. I'm like, "Oh, these people are like stalking me."
We-
But
at an airport like in Sao Paulo, and somebody was behind us in line and they're like, "Are you the YouTubers?" And we're like, "What in the world?" Like we're as far away from Japan as you can
Yeah.
get. Or just like walking down the street. I think those are the ones that I like are really encouraging to me because otherwise you just see numbers,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
It's just and it's
Hard
kind
to
of hard to
gauge.
tell, and then a video will do really well and you're like, man, we nailed it. And then another video won't do well at all and you're like, man, we failed. But even when you fail, those numbers represent people that are watching or represent a person who is engaging with that.
Yeah.
And I think one of the biggest surprises is when I would ask people, what's your favorite video?
Mm.
And a lot of times they'll say a video that is not one of those that YouTube said was a
Yeah.
success, right? It was one of those obscure ones that were like, like how to be a parent or something,
Mm.
or our trip to Brazil. Well, that didn't really even have anything to do with life in Japan, except for that it is our life here in Japan,
Yeah.
the fact that we would go there and and so like those kinds of things really help put perspective on like what's really happening and it's really cool.
it's fun to see how many people from different places on Friday when we launch it, we do a live chat
Yeah.
and people will say where they're watching from and
Okay.
It's everywhere.
everywhere. And it's shocking. It's like, you watch my life.
At 2 in the morning from where you are, or wherever it
To
is.
meet some cool YouTubers
Yeah.
also through it, which has been fun. Like the
Mm.
Fudge family, who's a big channel in Florida, and they came to Japan, met up with us, and wow, we're kind of famous.
What is it do you think about your family story that resonates with such an international audience?
Goodness. I still try to figure that out. I mean, honestly. Um,
I think to the Japanese, it's very interesting because we're a large family and we're trying to fit into the Japanese culture as much as we can. And especially our kids in Japanese school videos, we get so many comments on like, that reminds me of my childhood, or it's things haven't changed since my
Right.
childhood, things. So that I think, and most of our audience is in Japan. So they're very intrigued to see how we live, but also adapt our culture and live in their culture. And people abroad, I
I
have no clue. What?
Well, I think a lot of that is probably just interest in Japan in general. Obviously, there's a lot of YouTube you can watch out there about Japan, but ours it's as authentic as you get. Like we're not scripting our videos beforehand. We have an idea of what the video will be about, but so many times we're just like, let's just record. and then whatever happens is going to happen, and we find the theme that was running through it, and then we write the script around that. So it's kind of a backwards way of doing things in a lot of ways, but it's also a lot more like what real life happens. It happens. You look back at it, you're like, oh, that's what that, time in life was all about. And then you're able to process it and like, so I think there's a lot of people can live vicariously through us, like what if I were to move to Japan, and, like, what would it be like? And what would it be like if I had kids there? And so there's all those kinds of things that, that's the beauty of YouTube, I think. You
Yeah,
can travel.
Japan is a focal point right now of the world. I think there's so many tourists coming, so that helps.
And now you have something like 200,000
Well,
subscribers?
we're almost there. We recently hit 190,000 subscribers,
Okay.
which is really cool. I mean, I I try to picture that sometimes, like what would that fit in? What kind of stadium? And I don't even think there's a stadium for that, you'd have to have, you know. But it's really cool. I mean, the numbers are really great, I think, like as far as when you talk about numbers, but for me, the real reward is you're having a positive influence on people. Like it's like you don't find stuff on our channel that's like, berating the system or like different things. There is a place for, discussion of that kind of stuff and whatnot. But we took a decision, you know, just as a family, we're going to look at life through eyes of faith. And some people would say that's a positive framework, mindset, and that's part of it. But it's more than that. But that has a lot to do with our own frame of mind, goes into the way that we make the videos then too.
So, what is your future vision going forward for life in Japan, but also your other endeavors? Like, do you have any other projects or challenges that you're looking forward to pursuing?
Oh man, I started writing a book, and I actually got through the first manuscript, but I don't know if it's going to be my first book. I might actually write my first book after this and release that later. So I feel like writing is in my future, because that's part of what we do even here. As far as Paz goes, Paz Coffee Shop or Paz Church, we're always opening new campuses. Like we just opened one at Tokyo East here
Okay.
a little bit ago. We have Shonan Hiratsuka, one in Shonan Hiratsuka, and of course this one here in Noborito. So, Tokyo West, I mean, other ones will be opening up, in the future, maybe coffee shops too. All those kinds of things I think are definite potentials, and just seeing, just what's happening. And as life progresses, we'll document it as it goes. And,
Yeah.
you know,
And your book, is that fiction or is it about your life here
I
in Japan?
it will be probably nonfiction and probably even kind of experiential, like
Okay.
because before Japan, we lived in Brazil for 7 years.
Oh, wow.
So there's a whole, I mean, wherever you live, I always encourage anyone I meet, if you're able to move out of your home country and stay anywhere else in the world, it will be an eye-opening experience, and it'll just be really good just to kind of stretch your view of the world and get out of maybe the little bubble that you're in wherever you grew up, because we all have those,
Right.
and you don't always see them until you leave them. And so, like, I think it'll be something about like living a bigger life, and just challenging people to maybe take those hard steps, because it's hard to this. I mean, you moved here. My goodness, it's exciting and it's scary at the same time.
Yeah.
And there's times where you're like, this is the greatest thing ever, and there's times you're like, I just want to go back. And so, like, I think there's a lot to be said in that kind of space, and what you can learn and what you can encourage people to, that they were made for a lot more than what they think they were made for.
We've also toyed with the idea of the kids doing episodes. Our daughter just went to Guam, and she kind of
By themselves.
did the episode, and they helped edit it, obviously, but just doing like kid takeovers and seeing things through their eyes now. And so we have ideas for the channel, but maybe getting more merchandise out there, and we need a team.
Yeah.
But as you grow, you just can't edit everything by
Yeah.
yourself, how it goes. But we'll see how it goes. It's been exciting and fun.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Nathan, Ruth, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thank
Thank you, Dan, so much.
Okay, this has been 20 Minutes with the Reuters. Thanks for watching.